Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Faces for Autism Love streaming telethon. My next guest tonight has been a longtime supporter of the special needs community. As you may have heard me mention earlier this evening, we talked about the South Jersey Field of Dreams. He is one of the founding members, in addition to my grandfather and a few others that have been a part of bringing activities to the special needs community. He's here to tell us more about the South Jersey Field of Dreams. It is my pleasure to have my friend, John Glassey, with me tonight.
Oh, is this nighttime? Well, good evening, Jacob.
Thank you, John, for being here. As we were laughing just before we started. I mean, we've talked about how we haven't been at the field since fall of 2019. So, John, my first question for our viewers that don't know, give us a little background on the field.
Okay, as you said, your grandfather and a few others of us have been involved in developing activities for the handicapped community. When we started back in 1971, a long, long time ago, we were still dealing with just getting the Special Olympics started in the state of New Jersey and starting to do a bunch of fundraisers for handicapped athletes or for handicapped individuals that needed some special help. Over the years, we've done a variety of things with volleyball tournaments, baseball games, softball games, celebrity games, all types of activities. And your grandfather came 17 years ago with the idea, instead of borrowing somebody else's field all the time or asking for permission to use somebody else's field, he suggested that we build our own complex, which most of us thought that your grandfather was mentally impaired, and I still think he's mentally impaired, but that's a separate issue. Uh, so we started to put together some of the ideas of how much it would cost us and how we would go about it. And luckily, for our sake and for everybody's sake in South Jersey, the community responded very well to it, and we started building the complex. And we got a lot of money came our way, and we got a lot of people volunteered to
Wow.
help us. And
Yes. Yes, it's gone. Yeah, yes. So those of you that were listening, yeah, that's how we started. My family, 17 years ago, as John said, my grandfather actually saw an article in the Family Circle magazine, and they built a Miracle League in Atlanta, Georgia. Correct, John?
that is correct. And
And
just so your grandfather doesn't get in trouble, actually, your grandmother saw the article and told your grandfather, and she said, "Why don't you guys build your own field?" And you know your grandfather does everything your grandmother tells him to do.
oh, and I know that all too well. They do it.
Yeah.
Like Susan says and Barry listens. That's the way that goes. So tell us, I mean, the program has real, like, give us an idea of like how, where we started to now, because it was very small in the beginning.
Yes. In fact, the very first thing we did is we went and spoke to the Disabled Veterans Organization. And we took literally a 4-inch piece of sod, which was indoor outdoor carpeting, and a very soft baseball, and said, "These are the beginnings of what we want to build. We want to build a baseball field that can handle wheelchairs and crutches and canes as opposed to dirt and grass. And we want to use a baseball that is very soft so that the kids won't get hurt." And that very first night, we got a donation of $1,000 to start this program. The first year we did this, we had just a few kids show up, and we didn't even have a field. We had no uniforms. We just wanted to see whether or not the community wanted to embrace it. A year later, we had a field. Absecon gave us a piece of dirt and said, "You guys fix it up. It's yours." We lease it from the city of Absecon, but they said all the improvements would be ours. And over the years, we have developed the indoor-outdoor carpeting infield, as you have played on it for years. We have handicapped accessible dugouts. We have handicapped accessible bathrooms. We have a full field house. We put in $100,000 adapted playground, which this year we have a movable wheelchair swing, which we're very anxious for people to see. We have uh, a 9-hole miniature golf course that's all handicapped accessible. And we have a running track, walking track, and an exercise program that goes all around it, plus a courtyard. Comcast paid for a courtyard so that all of our athletes who come now can enjoy and have dinner and eat outside and socialize, etc. We now went from very few children, I would say maybe 15 kids, 20 kids. The first season we had 40 players, and now we have over 300 people participating.
Yes, and I mean, it's great to see the progression of where we were all those years ago to now.
Yep. I remember when you first started coming there, you could hardly even do anything with a baseball bat. And then you got the reputation over the years of being called the hammer because you could hit so well. So yeah, there's a lot of people have changed. You were just a youngster, now you're a young man. There's a lot of kids have grown up on that field, and we've had a great time watching it. Plus all the volunteers that come from all the different schools, different organizations who have come year after year after year to work with us. So it's been a great growth program. It is a huge program now.
Yes, and John's saying we've grown. We're a huge program now. Just to give you an example of what it the volunteerism that comes out of it. When I was in high school, and still to this day, a lot of my classmates came out, volunteered. They still do as young adults because they found it so rewarding when they came out as adults. So you see, it's built up like a family. We've all known each other for so long, and then we get the same kids volunteering year after year after year, and they're getting more and more and more out of it each time.
Yes, we have a lot of the high schools, some of the colleges, a lot of the civic groups, um, members of the volunteer fire departments come and show up. A lot of groups take one night where they come over and they provide all the volunteers for the activities. We calculated a couple of years ago in a typical season, and we have two seasons. We have a spring season and a fall season. We get over 1,000 volunteers a year that come to that field and participate with the kids. And like you say, they come back year after year after year. It's become a big family. The Field of Dreams has become a family. Excuse me.
And John, you're right. We are all one big happy family. We've all grown together, and now you see, as John said, we've had. If you calculate the spring, which is generally 8 weeks, starting in April, going all the way through Father's Day weekend, and then we have a fall season, and that's the last 2 weeks in September and the first two in October. That's how you get the support, the donations. As I said earlier this evening, if we don't if we can't if we don't have the donations, we can't do what we do best. And I know, John, you can certainly piggyback off of what I just said. If we don't have the volunteers, we can't do what we do.
Yeah, it cost us about, because it's totally free. If someone wants to participate as a player in the Field of Dreams, they pay for nothing. We pay for the uniform, the insurance, the background checks of all the coaches, etc., all the food supply that is brought into the concession stand for all the guests, and such. Nothing, you have to pay for nothing at the Field of Dreams. We raise those funds ourselves. The entire organization, the board of trustees, all the coaches, everybody is a volunteer. There are no paid employees in this organization, and it's been that way from day one. We do not get government grants. We do not go after government support for anything. We've done it all on our own, and we have found that a lot of people who donate to us, like the Elks Club of Summers Point or Egg Harbor Township, they come every year. Not only do they volunteer, they bring a check every year to support the program. Our program costs us about $30,000 to $35,000 a year to run and pay for everything. And we never start a capital project like a new swing or a new something new, anything new at the property. We never do it until we already have the cash on hand to pay for it. We never do it on time. We never say someday we'll pay for it. We get the money together first and then make the project. Our program also, I think, spurred so much interest that we now have a basketball program that goes in the wintertime, and the Margate Recreation Department has taken that on. And we have a season of indoor basketball for a lot of the same athletes from the Field of Dreams. So this has become a year-round operation, and it's like you said, it's only because of all the volunteers and all the people who put all the time in.
Yes, and we are a year-round operation, just as you said, with a few months, with about, for our coaches, a few months off in between. But you see, people like John and I that are active in the community, we're involved in the field, we're working, we're putting the volunteers together. It's it's a full year. We're working all year round. We're putting the volunteers together. We're talking to organizations. I've talked to um, I've given presentations with John to organizations to tell us what we're about, and at the end of the day, people really become inspired, and then when they see it, it becomes the picture becomes clearer.
Yeah, once they come to the field and they get to see the kids, they're hooked. They'll come back again and again and again because it's a fun place. It's a very positive place. It's not like some programs where you see and there's like cutthroat activity and people really want to see their kids win. And all we want to do is give them an opportunity to play and have fun. Let them be the stars for the night. Each time they come, the whole focus is on the kids and the players and letting everybody participate and have fun.
And that's just it, as John said. And then there are several there are organizations around the state of New Jersey, for those of you who are watching this, that have a similar focus. Tom's River has one. There is Bill Jake's Place, a little, I believe, northwest of here. I mean, just type, if you want to look us up, I'll do this right now. Visit www.southjerseyfieldofdreams.com. There's buttons to donate. There's buttons to volunteer. We have a schedule and more information. And I know my information was given out in the beginning of tonight's broadcast to tell you more information if you have questions about any of the things I have mentioned tonight. John, we're going to switch the subject for just a second. Tell us a little bit about another project I mentioned tonight is the Donny Fund.
The Donny Fund was started 20, this is our 27th year. Again, another all volunteer organization. Our job is to raise funds to give to local families who have children, mostly children who have severe catastrophic injuries or conditions. And our job is to provide the funds that they don't get reimbursed with through insurance or through medical coverage. So we buy wheelchairs, we buy hospital beds, we help pay for transportation back and forth to the children's hospital if that's where they're going for treatment. We try to help them with their medications if they have very high medical bills. Sometimes we pay for utility bills if the family has a child that's on a respirator or needs air conditioning because of breathing issues. So the fund is named after Donald Sykes, who was a Margate resident. His family owned Sykes Roofing Company in Atlantic City, very well-known family in this area. And when their son Donald passed away, who happened to be one of my best friends, they decided that they wanted to continue to bring opportunities to other kids that their son had had. Donnie had lived a pretty good life because his family had a successful business. So they helped put this 501c3 charity together. And their mission, that board's mission, is to raise funds every year and disperse all the funds they get every year. Their goal every year is whatever money they raise, they give to families. And now between that fund and another fund that we started for adults to have the same conditions, we over the years we've given out over $1 million to local families.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just great to see how the Donny Fund has grown, how the Field of Dreams has grown. And it all goes back to what I was saying in the beginning, and I will say it again. Without your support, organizations like the South Jersey Field of Dreams, organizations like the Donny Fund, we can't run, we can't do what we do without support. And yeah, so that's how it is. And my last question, John, tell the people watching tonight, tell them about, it's been a few years, but the Lakes Bay Challenge.
Say that again.
The Lakes Bay Challenge.
Well, because of all the shutdown and the activities, we haven't been able to do the activity in the summer, which is called Donny Fun Day, which includes, that's in Lakes Bay. That's between the mainland and Atlantic City or Absecon Island. And it has a swim, a row, a barbecue, music, all just fun things to do. And we're fairly certain that we're going to be able to do it in the summer of 2021. Haven't picked a date yet. We've also had to cancel, or last year we canceled our St. Patrick's Day run, which is one of our big fundraisers for both the Field of Dreams and Donny Fund. But this year we didn't cancel it, but we postponed it. So it will not be going on in March, but we're hoping that it's going to go on in the late summer of 2021. So we're going to be busy. I have a feeling your grandfather's stuff tournament is going to go on again this year because we had to postpone that or cancel that last year. But we're thinking we're gearing up all of our big fundraising programs for this summer. We're hopeful. We're hopeful that the things loosen up and we're going to allow to go. They're allowing people to come to sporting events now in smaller numbers, but at least they're allowing them in. So we're hopeful that we'll have the Field of Dreams back operating this year, at least part-time, and have a lot more activities for people.
Yeah, and I mean, as I said in an earlier interview tonight, we need the activities. The kids need the activities. I give you firsthand experience. When this all started, I was going a little stir crazy. I thought, and you know what, John? I literally said this. I said, this is weird. I should be down at the Field of Dreams working. This is opening weekend. I shouldn't be at home. I should be down here working. This isn't this isn't normal.
Yep.
But
And
yeah.
say you and I both don't have a far way to go stir crazy because we're close to crazy already. Yeah, we got a head start on that game.
Oh yes, we do. Uh, so you've heard the stories, and John, you did tell me uh, earlier that the Donny Fund will be a donation tonight to tonight's telethon.
Yeah, tonight's telethon for autism, the Faces group, Isabel Mosca and her group do a wonderful job. We have a lot of autistic players who play at the Field of Dreams. And so the Donny Fund's Board of Trustees met this past week and they decided to make a donation of $500 to Faces for Autism.
Thank you, John, because I mean that'll go a long way. And as I said tonight, if and as John just said in this evening's interview, if we don't have the money to continue, if we don't have the money, our programs can't continue. So this is why you see I've had people like John on, I've had teachers, I've had school administrators, I've had aides, people that work in the behavior analysis world. They're all telling you, we're all telling you different stories, and and just please donate. The number is scrolling down the bottom of the screen. They need your help. These organizations need your help now more than ever. Please donate.